What is happening, YouTube, and welcome back to part, I think 4 of the house extension. It's currently Friday morning. Didn't manage to film anything yesterday, Thursday, because the Sparky came round, and we'll just show you what's been going on. So where are we up to? A trailer full of rubble, which I've got from there, and a couple off the flat roof. Did not finish tiling at the front yet, but that's waste to get rid of. We have got a fire going at 7:45 in the morning. Oh, I'm obsessed. put a clip in here of Prodigy on my fire starter. Inside we've got cables in for our sockets, a couple on there, lighting circuits in. Yeah, that's outside lights on each side are in there as well. It's feeding there for a smoke alarm, because you need a wired smoke alarm. And yeah, I've had to drill another hole and sleeve it into the attic, so the smoke alarm will be paired with one in the hallway, just in case they ask for that. So there is a cable into the attic already. Still got a load of cardboard to get rid of, but because it's wet through, I can't get shut of it. I just can't get shut of it, mate. So on the front of the house, that right hand side is pretty much all done. That's all tiled. There is just a little bit up here to do, and across, and the dry verges to put on. It's looking good. They flattened it out. Don't know if you'll be able to make out the hump on next door. There's about a hump in the middle of the screen now. Can't see it from face on, but I'll try and show you from a different angle. But they flattened it out on my side. I've been told to take them tiles down as well off that scaffold. Ready for them today. They don't need them there. But as you can see, next doors is still asleep. And I'm not that much of a arsehole neighbour that I will wake up at this time. I will do things quietly, just subtle enough so it doesn't upset anybody. That's where we're up to. Welcome back. With a bit of luck in this episode, we might be something like finished before Christmas, as was hoped and planned. But yeah, I will catch you later on today or tomorrow, when hopefully the roof's finished and we're a bit closer. All them crates are going today. Still need to decide what to do with the slates as well. But there'll be nobody on site now for 2 weeks until the bifolds come after today, which is a shame. But I knew the bifolds would slow the job down a little bit, so it is what it is. I'm happy with where we're at now. Sunday morning. I've not had a chance to put a video update, but obviously nothing's happened since Friday afternoon anyway. In regards to what has been going on, other than the front of the house finished, which I'll show you in a second, just been tidying up really, getting rid of crap, mainly burning it. Crates are gone, someone wanted them. I can't remember what else is on there. Been on a tip run, got rid of all the old gutter in fiberglass and stuff. Inside, I have been this morning, got rid of the 2 flow and return pipes that were to the existing radiator in here. That's not happening anymore, because all this is going to be storage, and then a telly on the wall there, hence the socket. This doorway is going to be blocked up, as I've said, and that's all going to be open back up again. Light switches behind that board. I have, however, James is not going to be happy with this, the Sparky. I've moved the sockets from there and there. Obviously they were symmetrical, because afterwards I thought, if we have a wood burner in here, which I think we are going to, obviously we have to put a vent in, then the flue is not going to go up through the roof. I'm not sure about that Velux and the flue being closed. I don't know. Anyway, we'll work out the regs as and when it comes to it. It's not going to be a this year thing. But thinking forward, I hadn't thought about that socket. That probably would have been behind. If the wood burner goes in this corner, the flue goes out, and then an external one run up. That would have been behind the wood burner, which I wasn't happy with, because one, I'm not sure about how much heat is going to be behind there, and two, if the flue does come out this corner, it probably would have landed smack bang on the cable. So basically I've just moved it across like that, and same with that, so it's parallel again and level, because I think the flue is going to have to come out on this wall up, and then obviously up to, I think from what I've read, they need to go as high as the peak on the outside, like most chimneys do. There is one hiding behind the bush over there, but yeah, I think it's got to go up and then be strapped, supported to the underside of the roof. But that isn't a this year problem. That won't ever probably be featured on YouTube either, because I'm not just gonna, that's gonna be months and months and down the line, way after the room's finished, because I can't afford it for one, and two, I'm kind of undecided as to whether it's ever going to happen or not. But I thought I'd better move the cable to the socket just in case it does, before I move round to the front and show you what's what. Next Friday, obviously it's Sunday next Friday, hopefully the bifolds are going in, should be delivered and in. The ceiling will be boarded, and then the plasterers the following week. So I need to get prepared for the plasterers. So next weekend, as soon as these bifolds go in, that doorway is going to be opened up. This is going to get boarded up and finished. That door's going to get boarded up and finished both sides. And this needs a little boxing in. We was going to go up to the top and blend it in, but I thought that's just going to be a waste of space. Mrs.'s plan is we'll box this in, get it plastered, and then maybe make it into some sort of like stand, brew stand or whatever, because the couch is going in this corner. Basically, I think it's going to be a corner couch. Do you know what I mean? Put a wooden top on it or something, but for now, I need to build a box for that. That can be done as and when. I've also removed the caps pipes out of the kitchen, which you probably can't remember, because that kitchen radiator, I'm running new feeds into it, different feeds, so they're capped underneath the plinths now out of the way. And on the front of the house, wait for that car to go past, everything is all finished. New fiberglass valleys in, new end caps on, all completed, looking absolutely mint. I don't know if you can see the hump in next door's roof there. Well, we've got rid of ours. The whole roof had a bit of a hump in it. You can see it in certain places, especially when you're coming down the road and you side onto it, it looks horrendous. But they flattened ours out. Can't see it from the front. Not that it makes much of a difference, but it does look better. So me and the doggo are going to carry on. Don't know, just doing little bits. Build that box later today. And just do little bits this week till Friday. It's gonna be nice to have a pleasant break. I'll give you an update on the price on Friday as well, after the bifolds have got in, because we're fast approaching £30,000 now. Don't get me wrong, I might not be very good at joinery, but I do enjoy doing it. Just gonna put them plasterboard over the top of that now, ready for dabbing over for the plaster. Plasterer, not plaster. Trying to get ahead of the game for Friday. Unfortunately, I am running out of light. However, the camera always makes it look a lot brighter than it really is. Let me, oh no, it's no point. So, before anyone says, you shouldn't store plasterboard upright because they bow over time, but obviously they're not going to be there for that long for it to make a blind bit of difference. I have used steel screws on this, which you wouldn't if it was being skimmed straight over, because they can rust with the water inside the plaster skim. Obviously this is getting directly skimmed on top, so we're using proper plasterboard screws. I thought I'd better point that out. I'm going to show you, for those that don't know, how easy it is to cut plasterboard and what technique you should use. Will be common knowledge to most of you, but I'll show you anyway. So as you can see, we've got our marks, and you simply use a straight edge, score down it, stand the knife blade, give it a kick, and then score down the back. It's as simple as that for cutting a piece of plasterboard. Tuesday morning, and then we've got a bit of daylight now. I can show you what we actually did last night. So that's our box done. window boarded up, done. And as I lost light in there, obviously I had the torch on, but I don't even think there's actually that much left to do in there now. Other than take all this out, but I can't do that yet. Can maybe start knocking that plaster off tonight. Just tootling along with bits, really. Instead, this was a door casing, obviously, and at one point I stood it up, but before that it was a door case. So I've dot and dabbed some pieces of plasterboard on there. Hopefully that'll be all right for the plasterer. I have, you probably can't tell on the video, but level lined it across, so it's perfectly square, perfectly flat with that side, and just filled in the excess board adhesive in the back of there. So with a bit of leather plaster, I'll be able to put his beads on and skim straight over that, obviously on both sides. Do need to do that top part, but clean all this expanding foam out and put a board on that and see what's going on there. But that's only screwing it too, I think. We'll see what happens when I clean it off, but I ran out of time and enthusiasm last night. That's probably going to be a tonight's job. Sort that little trim out there. I don't know what else. It all boils down to getting these bifolds on, so it's then secure and watertight, because at the minute, if it does rain, it tends to drive in and starts slowly seeping to that door. There must be a slight fall on the floor. But obviously I can't take all that out until these bifolds are on, which is obviously Friday. So just for this week, tossing it off a little bit until we get a little bit nearer. There's been a serious lack of updates. It's now Friday afternoon, but however that is because nothing's happened really other than today. Obviously the bifolds have gone in, almost finished. Just needs sealing up after expanding foam's gone off, but obviously we're getting it rendered anyway, so no major drama on that. I'll show you how these work if I can zoom out, or I'm already zoomed out. Nice and easy. Needs hoovering and stuff, but it's nice. A nice operation. With outfitting, they've come to £2,390, so I didn't think that was that bad. Obviously it can open up wider, I've just done it for the purpose of the video. It can still open up wider yet. They're aluminium, not plastic. You can get cheaper ones which are plastic. But yeah, the bifolds have gone in, so the room is now watertight, and the ceiling's been done with them intricate cuts around. The velexes are all mited off as well. They look proper smart. Holes have been drilled for the spotlights, and cables are just there ready. And the plasterer is coming on Tuesday. Whether he starts on the outside rendering or the inside is weather depending, because obviously the inside can be done whenever really. It can be pissing down outside, he can still do the inside. So he said he might start on the outside first if the weather's half decent, which will be putting your base coat down, your scratch coat, whatever it is. At least get it to that stage. Yeah, I said I'd give you an update on costings up to now. We are now on £28,792-ish. Well, I said £2, it is ish. 28,000, nearly 29 grand. And there's possibly another 5 left in it, I think. Maybe 6, depending on what floor we go for. Oh my God, it's disgusting, isn't it? But yeah, it's going to make a fantastic room. As of this video, my first episode of this went out last night on YouTube, and it's had nothing but positive comments, and people are excited to see it going forward, so I'm happy about that, because there's nothing worse than throwing out a video and it flops. However, I've done it for myself as well as your viewership, because it'd be nice to look back and remember what it was like and what went on. But as of this weekend, I've got a busy weekend ahead. I've got a knock through, which that won't take that long, make good of the walls, and I've got to stud that wall where the door is on both sides and plasterboard it ready for the plasterer. I've also got to that's just the old bin shed. Yes, the tiles are on completely wrong. I did it and I made do. with what I had at the time. It's quite old now. Like the tiles there, look, they're on lengthways. Some of them are, yeah, it was just a bin shed basically. But it does keep stuff dry, as you can see. But that's got to come down because obviously this wall's getting rendered. I've got that pipe to sort out, which I think is an old oil feed to for some point, but I need to double check. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be gas. It can't be because the gas only goes to the boiler. Anyway, got that sorted out, and I've got to take off that outside tap, which is fine because I do have another one just there. So they still got water for mixing and stuff. Take that out and get them to render over, and I'll just drill a new one out when the time comes. But busy weekend, so I'll catch you on a time lapse when I'm ripping down this kitchen door and that stud wall. Saturday morning. I did, as you can see, make a start on getting rid of this pre-existing stud wall, but I didn't film it because it's pitch black. I had to have the uni light on and stuff, so there was no point. Kitchen door I've took off and it's chucked on the back garden. That was a bit of a pain, but came out quite nice. So this morning my first job is I'm going to take up these tiles because the stud wall is going to finish roughly here. So I'm going to take up that tile and that tile, because afterwards the skirting board will cover up to that joint. I'll leave that one down because I don't want to stick the new stud wall onto these tiles, because if we ever change these tiles, that'll be underneath and just be a pain, in my opinion. So I'll take up them few tiles and we'll start building the framework for this. I'm going to finish this one plasterboard finish just a little bit back, a couple of mil in, to allow for a skim, so we can smooth that off flat. And on this side, I'm going to finish the plasterboard flush with the brickwork, because obviously it's going to get dot and dabbed. It's just something for him to stick his boards onto on this side. So let's get cracking with that. We always suspected there was a difference between that wall and that wall in the kitchen. But obviously, you can't really tell up there, but you can see now just how far, it could have been my tiling, but I doubt it. This is definitely set further back than that one. But by the time, obviously no units are going to be going on that. It's just going to be blanked in. Oh, and a radiator going on top of it. So by the time it's plasterboarded, unless you look down at the tiles or the skirting board, you shouldn't see the difference between the two. It's going to be a bit of a bow in it. But it is what it is. I've got my bottom braces on now in position. Set back the right depth they need to be. So I'm just going to put 2 uprights up. And we'll get our top ones on and our noggins in the middle. Centre brace. Flying. Ugh. Centre noggin in. If you're wondering what things like this and this are for, it's because I'm trying to recycle wood. Yeah, tight. I'm tight And I'm also skint after all this, so I'm recycling wood. And obviously the ones that I want to use aren't long enough. So that centre noggin is in now just for support. I'm going to put 2 cross members in across here. Now that finished height there is the height of one of our plasterboards. So I'm going to put a noggin in the middle centre of that red mark, and it'll catch the top board and the bottom board, if that makes sense. And this void in the middle here, I'm going to fill from this back side when I put them noggins in. Not for so much insulation, because this is obviously the kitchen, a heated room. It's not an outside wall. It's more for soundproofing really, and to get rid of the rest of the kingspan. Dropped a bit of a bollock here. So I cut off some of the ends of that to make these infill pieces. I thought, oh, 100mm off or whatever it is, won't make a difference. It'll be plenty wide enough for the door. No, it's not. I've only got 3 boards there as well. So as you can see, I am like, I don't know, 50mm short, which don't matter for this side, because obviously this is getting dot and dabbed. That's only going to be there for him to stick to. So a little bit of a gap on this side's fine. However, I'm going to have to now move on to studding up the other side, because that side there can't be any gap, because obviously it's being skimmed across flat, so it needs to be tight, and that's more priority. But because it was short, I've now had to put another piece of timber in all the way down there to catch that edge to screw to. What a ding, man. It looks like it's a proper bodge job, this. Come on. Give it a good whack. Did it break? Yeah, you have to keep doing that with that one. It's not shatter proof. It's not a shatter door, a glass piece of glass. It's just a single pane. Don't touch it with your hands though. Yeah? Don't let your kids try this, do this at home. Open sesame. It's all down. That side is all boarded up and cleaned up, so hopefully the kitchen will stay a bit cleaner. Inside here I've still got some plasterboard to take off and stuff, like up there, but the plan here was to have some IKEA units, some storage across this wall. I've forgotten about the light switch. So my plan with the light switch is, when the units go in, mount the switch, because these are going to be shelving units, these ones. Mount the switch inside the shelf. However, the units are 360 deep, the wife wants. This isn't 360, and it's definitely not going to be 360 when the dot and dab goes on here. So I might have to put a plant on piece here of 60mm. Now, because I'm going to do that, I'm going to leave that as is. And I've just poked the multi-tool blade flat with that brickwork through there. I'm going to run my blade up there just to clean off that edge, if that makes sense. I've chiselled up a little bit of the floor. That's a worry for another day, because the floor height's the same height as the kitchen, which don't make a difference because obviously that's blocked off. But I don't know if you can make out on the picture, on the video, that actually ramps down. So, this floor is slightly higher than that floor, which, yes, we can self-level and stuff in that room to try and make it less of a fall or curve or drop. But that's a worry for another day. That all depends on what we're having on the floor as well. If you're having tiles, you could probably float it out to lose that. I don't know. Flooring is least of my problems. I've filled in that side. So yeah, basically now I am just going to multi-tool that down there and try and break off the rest of this, because we've got a meal to go to at 5. Well, I've got to be ready and at the site by 6, and it's 3:10, so I'll do a little bit more and finish whatever I can't get done today tomorrow. It's looking a lot tidier though, and I love it all open plan now. that'll do for now. I'm not going to take all that slate batten off. I'm basically just going to run the whizzer, multi-tool up, and then they can do up to wherever they can get into that fence post. Ugh. That'll have to do. Sunday, late afternoon. Have I really done much today? It's not going to look like it, but we built off these. I need scraping it all off, actually, I missed that. I've built off that by obviously 60mm to account for the units which are going to go across this side. By the time that's plasterboarded, it should be about right, allowing for 20mm-ish on dot and dab, that wall being dabbed out. I've took off this ceiling bit, so it's a fresh, flat Bosch for the plasterer. I've gone up this side. Again, that one's actually trimming off as well. All these things I've missed. And that's just going to be obviously smoothed over. Just had a tidy up really. Been and done a tip run and got rid of all the old board and that, which was just stacked around the side, because obviously if they start on the rendering outside before doing inside, it's just going to be in the way. I took off the outside tap and I have just slid a piece of sleeve in through, purely down to the fact I don't want to lose the hole, because the way it's piped up inside, it's all quite tight with tees off to washing machine, water meter. There's tons underneath. There's not a lot of room underneath the kitchen sink, so if they can go around it, I know it'd be a better job just going flying straight off and over it and easy for them, but I'd rather them just go around that, and I'll cut that off to suit as and when it's finished. But other than that, we've had quite a bit of rain down today, which is never good, but I suppose it's needed. We haven't had rain for 2 weeks. And obviously yesterday I stripped the bin shed down, so that's all gone. I took off that pipe, little copper pipe which was sticking through the wall, and had a quick sniff of it, and it was oil, so there must have been an oil boiler here at some point, or an external oil tank. I've trimmed off all them again, so it's just ready for the renderers to do outside or inside, depending on what they want to do first. I'm hoping to do inside, because outside doesn't really make much difference to me. Inside, obviously, I can crack on with painting, getting it dried out. Once the painting's done, the floor down, radiator on. Do you know what I mean? So I'd rather them do the inside, but it's all weather depending. If the weather's good outside, then they've got to take advantage of that, with it being mid to late October. There is other bits I could do inside. I could connect them feeds up. Them feeds. Through the attic and down to the boiler, but honestly, I can't be arsed doing plumbing. I do that all week. I don't want to do that all day. It's all weekends as well. But yeah, for the rest of the night, I'm just going to take all these pieces of wood that we don't need anymore, timbers, back into the garage. Have a tidy up here so it's ready for the plasterers on Tuesday. I'm going to take measurements of where cables are for obviously future, so I don't drill through them. Pipes have been pretty damn obvious for me, because you'll see them at the bottom of the plasterboard. They're obviously in a straight line up. Just do a little bit more scraping off that insulation and stuff, just so it's ready. I'm not going to do much more other than that. So I'll catch you on Tuesday after the plasterers have been, and we'll see where they've got up to and what they've done. In the back of my mind, I'm hoping most of this is going to be dot and dabbed, boarded. Kind of hope it's pissing down Tuesday, Wednesday. They might skim the ceiling Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Like I say, I'm not asked about the outside, but it does need doing. Monday evening. I wasn't going to do anything today because I'm suffering with man flu. We all know how bad that is if you're a male. But what I have done is I took off that top piece of plasterboard and put some noggins in for the radiator. Don't think it would have needed it. Probably could have got away with plasterboard fixings, but I thought, you know what, whilst I've got time, whilst I still can take that board off, I'll do it. I hung the radiator and cut out for my pipes. So skirting board is probably going to finish about here with the talon pipe covered. I'll be able to fill in around that afterwards. And I've ran these in behind that kickboard, which unfortunately this one here goes all the way to the back, which is a pain. So I've had to cut that out of the back, take the washing machine out, and I've ran my pipes. I don't know if you'll be able to see, flick this cover down. There they are. So they're ready for connecting on. No joints, just two continuous lengths right the way around. Oh, but that'll do for now till it's plastered. I can sort them out after it's plastered and painted. And I've put this roll and straw down just for protection, but I don't think they're going to get around to skimming that tomorrow. The weather ain't looking too clever, so what I think they'll end up doing is just dot and dabbing some of the walls in here. I think that's what they'll get done tomorrow, which is fine by me. Whatever, get whatever you can done. But it's due to get really cold this weekend, which is why I kind of thought I hope they get chance to start skimming, because I especially want that wall done where that kitchen radiator is going, because I'd love to get that back on, just get a little bit more heat into this back half of the house. But anyway, I'm going to bed. Catch you tomorrow after the plaster has been. Monday evening, the plasterers have literally just left. They've done really well today, in my opinion. All of it is dot and dabbed, even around the window reveals and the opening reveal there. They've bonded that, so that's ready for skimming, which is good, because I didn't want them to just plant a piece of plasterboard on there, because it would have took again more off the opening. I've already took off an extra 60mm there. But yeah, that is absolutely mega. Almost all trimmed up, ready to go for tomorrow. There's a few more trims to put around the windows. But one thing I couldn't believe they'd actually done was this. The kitchen wall has been fully skimmed out, which is the one thing that I was looking forward to getting done. Because once this is dry, I can paint it all, get that radiator on and get some heat. Another radiator, another heat source in this back half of the house. I ain't going to be doing anything tonight. I don't think. I say I don't think because for rendering outside, for the stock brick round there, they've got some sort of chemical they can put on, like PVA, which will mean they can K-render over it. However, the painted brickwork here, that needs to come off. Whether that be grinded off or what, it needs to be keyed into, so it's got somewhere to take. Whether I do that or them is depending on whether I get time, because I've got to take the son to a Halloween party shortly, so I'm not going to get time today, and it's also pissing down. But yeah, that's another little job that needs doing, which I did not know about. So on that note, I'll catch you tomorrow when they've been back and done a little bit more. Tuesday evening, and everything has been skimmed. I cannot believe it. Absolutely everything has been boxed off in the day. All around there. Doggo. Couldn't have asked for anything better. And I said Tuesday, it's Wednesday. Wednesday, Dan. I'm a day behind on these videos for some reason. I think it's because they only started on a Tuesday. And I just keep thinking it is Tuesday. But yeah, I couldn't have gone any better on that. That is absolutely pucker, mate. They're going to come back tomorrow, weather depending, and hopefully get the base coat right round with a bit of luck. Tonight I'm just going to be spending it tidying up a little bit, as usual. Smashing up the plasterboard and getting them in bags ready to take them to its tip. And maybe I'll take a look at the flooring heights, see what the crack is there now the plasterers have done inside. I'm absolutely made up the fact that they've dot and dabbed all that and skimmed it in 2 days. I don't know if that's good or bad. It seems good to me. Now it's just a waiting game for it to dry. As I said, I do have a dehumidifier and an oil heater, but I'm not going to put them in for a good couple of days. because I don't want it to draw the water out of the walls too fast. So I'll catch you tomorrow, unless I do anything tonight, on them putting the first base coat down with the rendering, which is coming along now. Buzzing. Look at all that, it was empty before I started that window. Class this little thing, I think it's from Lidl or something, or Argos. Cheap version of a Karcher one. But hey, you can see what it was like. Obviously the relics is exactly the same. Doesn't help that the dryer's on. But there's obviously a lot of water in the air at the minute. I have got the dehumidifier out, but that's only going to go on tomorrow. I'm going to give it a good 48 hours before putting that back on, just to hopefully catch the remainder. I'm not too fussed about in here. I think I'll concentrate on in here first, because obviously this was done 2 days ago now, and it has started to dry out itself naturally. I think by the time tomorrow's here, it'll be pretty much good to go, that, and I can get my couple of mist coats on and then a final coat of vinyl. That is matte, that. But I'm going to put vinyl on this. Obviously fit dirty fingerprints, dog and stuff like that. And I can get the radiator on. Not so much bothered about skirting boards. That'll be the kitchen side of things done to a point, and then we can crack on within there. It's actually half term now. My lad's got a week and a half off, so it's obviously Thursday. He finished yesterday. Just waiting for the plasterers to turn up to start out here, weather permitting. They'll have a good go at it and get the base coat on with a bit of luck. I don't actually know how long it takes. Don't actually know how many coats you put on or what, anything to do with render. That's why I'm up early, doing a few bits of jobs. I just thought I'd show you the little wet window back. The little things in life, eh? My God, it is an absolute mess. Oh. Right, so up here, there are 2 heating pipes down to the extension. That cable there is for, how long is it actually? If we need a smoke in the hallway, you know, a linked smoke alarm. So that's been put in preparation. And I think I'd already said that these 2 pipes here are the ones which are going into my boiler cupboard, because it's not a direct route. It's not directly below here, it goes through a flat roof. I'll show you downstairs. But those 2 are where I'm going to pick up, because there's no heating pipes in this loft, just hot and cold, which is underneath that felt lag in there. So that's what I'm going to connect onto, because this is going to be the highest point in the system now. Oh my God, all these boards are loose. I'm going to cut this off somewhere like here, and then tee up to a fun vent. Same on this side. From air vent, and then come straight off that across and connect onto that, which I might do today whilst I've not got much else to do. But I don't know what to do with all this mess, to be honest. Right, in reality, you'd take up all this fiberglass insulation and bin it and start again. But 1, that's a complete waste, and 2, I don't want the expense of buying new stuff, really, because I don't know, I might get the hoover up here and start hoovering up and turn all that insulation upside down, maybe. At least it'll look a bit better. Fucking hell's that go? Oh shit, that is actually the TV aerial. I better not pull that down. First thing I better do is start hoovering, so I can use this platform to kneel on and get some clips on the joist coming across this way. I did a little bit of hoovering, and then I think I killed the hoover. I think it's because I've been using it for wet vac and dry, so I need to sort the filters out. But as you can see, all like the cobwebs dangling down on that side, I've managed to hoover all that. Am I the only person in the world that hoovers the attic? Am I that fucking, do you know what I mean? Like, weird. Anyway, I got the main bits of the floor done, what I'm going to be working. So I've just dropped them 2 legs in, pressed them elbows across there. All this needs insulating, but let's get them in. Ow. Let's get them in first. And I'm going to put another couple of clips on those 2 stabs of wood there, come across and into that, and then I'm getting out of this attic because I've had enough. Like I say, I've only done a little bit, but it's done my head in. It needs some proper time spending on it. There is just dust and crap everywhere. Right, pipe work is in and connected up. A couple of fun vents on there, ready for when we bleed the system. Don't like automatic air vents. They're good idea, but they always fail, don't they? Let's be fair. So I just put thumb turn ones on. I did mess up here. I was supposed to have the not there, here. That piece that I've soldered on was supposed to go straight in, no coupling. Never mind. And then I ran out of 15mm, so hence why it was couplings galore. Probably cost me a fortune, but it's got the job done. I didn't want to be coming back up here another day after I've got some more 15. They obviously run through to the attic. Just need all lagging up, but as they're empty at the minute, it doesn't really make no difference. Trims are on now. Obviously on the base coat they put this mesh in to bind it all together. I don't know if that's one coat finished or what. Whether the mesh is under that, I'm not sure. This trim here is a corner bead. You can have a finishing bead, but I think eventually we'll end up getting the rest of the house done. So I just said we'll risk it for a biscuit and put a corner bead which allows you to go that way as well. It is what it is, isn't it? I think we will end up doing that, but money at the minute is not making that possible. So just the back for now. It's gone cold, man. I don't like the cold. So we have our scratch coat or our base coat, whatever you want to call it, coat down on the walls, trims and beaded up. As you can see, there's a top trimming. That's got a 5mm gap between the fascia board and the trim itself to allow for expansion. That is looking absolutely mint, even though it's just a scratch coat. It's still, when you stand back here, take the notice of the grass, it always looks worse on the camera for some freaking strange reason. When you look back here, it's starting to all take shape. Other than that window needs spraying black. So it matches the bifolds, and that window needs spraying black. But I'm leaving that until obviously it's rendered. The scratch coat right around here. But obviously with this, I've got to put some lines, diagonal and crossways, every between 100mm and 150mm, just for something so it can key into when they put the base coat on. So that is my task for, I may do it tonight, but the weekend, because they're not back Friday, tomorrow. The weather's crap, so if the weather's decent on Monday, they'll be back. I'll start putting top coat on a couple of walls, get that base coat on, and then be back a following day to finish it all off. But this doesn't hold anyone up outside here. However, you still want it doing, still want it finishing. And on that note, it's about 45 minutes long, this episode, so I'm going to cut it here. This is part 4. I think the 5th and final part, depending on how much content I get and what happens going forward, will probably be the final part. The 5th part should be the final part. The 5th part will probably be the final part, is what I was going to say, where it'll be completely finished, rendered. We'll hopefully have some floor down, skirting board down and painted. And yeah, I'll check back with you in the next episode. Hope you're enjoying this series so far. I've had nothing but positives from most of it, and I've enjoyed doing it. However, it's not made, the video has not made the money it's cost to build this thing, which I was hoping it would, but it's nowhere near. Don't be daft. I average about £50 per video that I post on YouTube, so that's a bit of a little insight for you. And next time we'll give the complete finished cost of what it's cost to do as well. So don't forget to give it a like, consider subscribing if you haven't done already, and I'll see you on the next one.